our lives. So today is a chair yoga class. We are going to make use of a lot of sitting on the chair, but we're also going to stand up and use the chair for balance. So this is a gentle but not easy yoga class. We're going to, because of the chair, we're forced to isolate muscle groups and use muscle groups. And rather than being able to compensate with perhaps some stronger muscles, it's much harder because you are forced to use the muscles. So actually, it's not as easy as people think it is. So do what you can. Try to find that mind-body connection. Try to actually tune in to the muscles that we're trying to use. And listen to your body. Take breaks when you need to. Skip what you don't need. Skip what you feel is not right for you today. And again, just trying to have that internal experience the whole time. So not worrying about your alignment versus my alignment. Are you putting your foot in exactly the right place? But worrying about connecting to the muscles, feeling the muscles, and feeling the move, having that mind-body connection. So if you have yoga blocks, grab them. They're going to be handy. If not, just work without them. It's okay. I'm going to use the yoga blocks to rest my arms on for the start of practice. So generally, yoga practice begins with a grounding. So we land. We start to really get on the mat. So we still have our yoga mat. If you don't have a yoga mat, you can imagine you have it. Start to land in the chair. So the blocks can help your shoulders rest because it gives your arms a little something to be resting on. Gives them a little height. It can make you have more space to get taller in the spine. Or try to get soft. Feel your feet on the ground, maybe even rub them around. Feel the ground below you. Try to get your shoulders nice and soft. Wiggle them around. Let go of any tension and gripping in your shoulders. And then start to imagine getting longer in the spine, taller. Maybe even imagining little pockets of space forming between each vertebrae. We're going to begin practice with spine breath today. So we're going to imagine a channel of our breath moving up and down our spine. We're going to imagine that this breath is breathing in fresh and releasing out things no longer needed. Maybe releasing tension, releasing holding patterns. So we're going to imagine we're drawing our breath in through the crown of our head, and as if there's a tube around our spine, we're going to run our breath down our spine all the way to the tailbone, and then exhale all the way back up. Trying to do this without increasing muscular tension in the body. So think about your shoulders. Try to let your shoulders remain soft. Try to let your torso remain relatively soft. Just moving with the flow of your breath. If it's comfortable for you, close your eyes and really focus in on this channel. There are a couple of things that you can use to help you stay focused on your breath. And try them out, see which one works for you. Some people are visual, some people are slightly more scientific, and the visual stuff doesn't work. So try each kind of version. See which one works. Take what you need, leave what you don't. So you can imagine a little opening forming at the top of your skull. And you can imagine bringing in a ball of energy all the way down the spine to the tailbone and all the way back up. You can give your ball of energy a color, a temperature, whatever helps you connect with this visually. Or you can try, just imagine breathing in from the top of your skull down to the tailbone and saying gently to yourself, I am breathing in. I am very slowly breathing out. As you get used to this breath pattern, begin to experiment with breathing in and softening all the muscles of the body, and then just gently engaging from the tailbone up, imagining you could find all the little muscles around the spine, gently assisting the breath on the way back out. Drawing in fresh with the inhale, gently assisting the exhale out, sweeping away things no longer needed. And then let your focus on your breath soften away. Bring your awareness to the palms of your hands. Let your palms face up. And imagine gently holding two little balls of energy in the palms of our hands. Perhaps imagining that these are balls of earth, little rocks, something grounding, something nature. And as you land on your mat, really finding sensation in your hands, finding focus on your breath, perhaps making a little promise to yourself to remain on your mat for the next 60 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever we have left. For this entire practice, feeling inside your own physical body and not letting the thoughts drag you away to yesterday, tomorrow, whatever else is outside of this mat. And then gently float the eyes open if you have the eyes open. Keep a block handy, don't put them too far away if you have the blocks. And we're going to start to move with our breath. So maybe come a little closer to the edge of the chair so your feet can be firmly planted on the ground. A little long in the spine, but watch for any tension in the back. So shuffle around so that you're comfortable. We're going to inhale, lift the arms, the arms. Exhale as we lower, sweep the arms away. Inhale as we lift. Nice and soft with the arms. Exhale as we lower. This movement can be smaller, or it can be large, maybe even lifting the chest, and then a little hollow out of the belly as you exhale. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Really connecting to the breath, movement, flowing with the breath. Watch for gripping in the back. Watch for gripping in the feet. Watch for gripping in the face. Bring the arms down to their sides, and we're going to work through the shoulders. So start to press with the hands. Press the arms down. Active arms and hands, and we're going to slowly pull a shoulder up at a time. So we're not just moving through the shoulders, we're going to slowly connect with the muscles and then push down. Pull up, connect with the muscles, and then push down. Slow, Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you push your shoulder down. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you push. And then start to experiment. Maybe starting to roll a shoulder as you lift it. And then roll it as you push it down. Really starting to find all of the muscles that make the shoulders move. And then bring the shoulder blades, draw the shoulder blades back towards each other. Squeeze all the muscles in between the shoulder blades. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Checking on the lower back. Try to soften the lower back and just focus on the upper back between the shoulder blades. And then draw the shoulders together. Draw them in. Widen the shoulder blades. Maybe even a gentle push of this chest back. Trying to widen the shoulder blades a little more. Bring it back to neutral. Give it a wiggle. Reset. Loosen. Soften. We're going to work through the neck. So get really tall. And then take the chin all the way to the ceiling. And then all the way down to the chest. Inhale as you lift the chin. Exhale as you lower. So we're not just dropping our skull backwards. We're trying to find the muscles of the neck. So inhale, engage and lift the chin. Exhale, lower. Bring the chin back to neutral. Inhale, central, and then exhale, turns the chin to a shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn chin to shoulder. Turn the chin all the way over to the right shoulder, and then take the eyes and look as far right and up as you can, stretching also the eyes. Stretch, feel the muscles of the eyes. Leave the eyes where they are, and slowly draw the chin back to center. This should feel really unusual. It should not feel like the right way to move your head. When you get back to neutral, close the eyes. Notice any sensations that come up. Take the chin all the way to the left. Look the eyes all the way left and up. Stretch the eye muscles. Feel the eye muscles. Connect with the muscles that we barely ever pay attention to. We use all day, every day. Leave the eyes looking right and slow left. And then slowly bring the chin all the way back to center. Maybe you notice a little jittering as you move your chin. Close your eyes when you come back to neutral. Notice any sensations that come up, and particularly if you do feel a little too much sensation, just bring your fingertips together. Touch your fingertips and ground. And then bring your chin all the way down to your chest. Slow as you can, as if trying to feel every angle your head can move in. Move in a circle as slow as you can. With muscles, not just flopping the skull. Trying to connect with the muscles, and when you get back to neutral, back to center, you're going to take it back in the other direction. Really connecting with all of the tension in the neck, all of the holding patterns. And then bring the chin back to neutral and give the shoulders a wiggle to reset. Bring the arms up about chest height, and we're going to think about the core muscles, the ones in close to the spine, and we're going to twist. So we want to be moving from the rib cage up, and one of the things we want to look out for is our holding pattern. So if you're pushing into a foot or a hip, trying to make this movement bigger, back off. Try to keep it in the core and the movement above the rib cage. So we're going to inhale neutral, exhale twist. Inhale neutral, exhale twist. Watching for those holding patterns, watching for gripping in the back. Make it smaller if you find you're trying to use muscles that we're not looking to use right now. Muscles that weren't invited to the party, trying to do all the work. Soften the face, move with the breath. Bring it back to neutral. Keeping your hands here, we're going to push our fists together. So push the fists together and then pull the fists apart. Push the fists together, pull the fists apart. So working the shoulders, you can start to move through the chest, make this a little bigger, or just moving the arms and shoulders. Active arms, strong arms. So push the fists together, draw them apart, draw the shoulder blades together. Find those muscles in between the shoulder blades. Push and pull. Active, strong arms. We're not just loosen the arms, we're trying to find those muscles. You can have loose fists if your hands don't like to make fists. You can have soft fists, but trying to find the muscles. Bring that down. Take a little wiggle of the shoulders. Maybe flick out the hands and the arms. Just loosen and soften. We're going to think about the feet and the legs. So look down at the feet, wiggle the toes, spread the toes nice and wide. I think I need to move back so we can see my toes. Sorry. Wiggle the toes, see them nice and wide. Press down into the balls of the foot and then actively pull the toes up. Pull, 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 and then spread the toes nice and wide. Looking at the toes, try not to bring any tension into the legs or the lower back. We're going to press the big toe down only. So press big toe down, both feet. Keep all the other toes lifted. Pressing through the ball of the foot, pressing through the big toe, pulling through the other toes. Slowly switch. So you're going to bring the big toes up and lower all the other toes, trying to keep the big toe lifted. You may start to feel this on the inside of the knee, the inside of the foot. We're looking to strengthen some of these stabilizer muscles. Slowly switch, bring the big toes down, bring all the other toes up. Maybe you can start to feel the muscles on the outside of the knees fire up. And then slowly lower the toes. Wiggle the feet, wiggle the legs, loosen, soften, reset. We're going to bring our right foot up to a hover. So watching for pulling in the lower back to lift the leg. Try to keep a nice long spine, engage around the hips a little. Pull as if you're trying to pull your hip bones in a little, and then lift and hover the right leg. So now try to connect with all the muscles that hold the leg up. Push through the ball of the foot, pull the toes back. Try to find as many muscles in the leg as possible. Notice if your leg starts to feel heavy. We're going to draw the knee up a little bit and then push it away. Small movement, just trying to connect with the muscles of the leg. Draw it up, push it away. Draw it up, push it away. Again, looking and watching for those compensation patterns, not letting the lower back do all the work. Trying to find the muscles of the leg. Draw the knee up just a little. Draw the knee out to the side. And then back into center. Out to the right, into center. Bring Bring it back down, take a little wiggle, reset. And then set up for the other side. Again, setting up your base first. A little bit of strength in the stomach, pulling as if you're trying to pull your hip bones together and your belly button towards your spine. Lift the left leg. Long in the spine. Watch for your lower back firing up. Hold and hover. Notice if the leg is heavy. Notice if one side is easier than the other. Breathe. And then draw the knee a little bit up and then push the ball of the foot away. Knee up, push away. Active, strong, not flopping our leg around, trying to find all the muscles in the leg. Draw the knee up, engaged in the core, not letting the low back do all the work. A little bit out to the side with the knee and then draw back to center. A little bit out, a little bit center. Small movement, engaging the inner thigh. Keeping an eye on that lower back, soften the shoulders, soften the face. And then bring it down and shuffle, wiggle, reset. Bring the heels down to the ground and then lift the toes. Push the balls of the foot down, lift the toes. Push and lift. Really looking at your legs, feeling your legs, watching the muscles that make this movement happen. And bring it back. We're going to grab a block. You don't have to use a block, but if you have a block, it's helpful. We're going to bring the block onto our right hand and hold it in the right hand. We're going to hold our left hand out. Notice the weight of the block. We're going to inhale as we open our arms out to the side. Exhale as we draw them back in. Inhale as we open. Exhale as we draw back in. So this would be flopping around. We're trying to engage muscles to open. Chest is active as you open, and then draw the muscles back in. So watching for that low back. There's a big muscle group back there that might want to do all the work. See if you've engaged your glutes. Try to keep this in the upper body. Chest, arms, shoulders. Watch for gripping in the neck. Bring it back to center, switch sides. Notice left and right side. And then inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze. Bring it back to center. Let go of your block. And give your arms a little shake, a little flick. Let go. We're going to come up to stand behind our chair so the chair part is going to face us. We're going to bring our hands onto the chair. So bending the knees and making as much space as you need for your back. We're going to play with weight on our hands. So make the lower body and back comfortable, wherever that is for you. Maybe you need a deeper bend in your knees. Have a little play. Make sure the lower back and legs and hips are comfortable. The ankles are comfortable. We're going to play with weight on our hands. So we're just going to start to take a little weight onto our hands. Feel our wrists and then take it back. Bend our knees. Little weight on, and then lower. Take the weight on and off, nice and slow, feeling your wrists. And then land your hands wherever your arms and hands are comfortable, and we're going to focus on the back. So we're going to take our legs back, make some space for the back. This may mean you bend deeply into your knees. If your glutes and the backs of your legs are tight, this shape might not be the shape you want. Bend your knees. Have an experience in your lower back. So imagine making space in your lower back. Try to keep the tension out of the head. Maybe rest the head on the arm. Out of the neck, sorry. Breathe. Imagine lots of space in the lower back. Also possible to lower your forearms down onto the chair. Really take all the pressure off your arms and wrists and just think about space in the back. Slowly bring yourself a little closer to your chair and take your feet a little bit wider, maybe about mat width apart. So we're just going to use the chair for balance, not too much weight on the chair. We're using it for balance here. So hold for balance. And we're going to think about our feet, our legs, and our hips. So what we're going to do is move the weight around on our legs, slowly, carefully, and engaging muscles and feeling that connection. So you're going to bring the weight over onto the right edges of both feet, lifting up the feet. Roll the weight around and bring it onto the left edges. So we're moving through the feet and letting our knees and hips move in whatever way is natural. Thinking about just adjusting the weight on our feet. So we're coming up to snow and ice season. Think about all the times you slipped on the ice. It's never that perfect alignment that hurts you. It's never when your knee is perfectly over your ankle. It's always that funny angle. So find the muscles that protect us in those angles. Maybe thinking about making them a little stronger. And then bring it back, feet about parallel. And we're going to move our feet. So again, just balancing on the chair, not lots of weight on the chair. Most of the weight in the legs, so we're strengthening our legs. Start to engage by imagining you're pulling your feet apart on the mat without letting them move. That should fire up the glutes, the whole leg. So nice and strong in the leg. We're going to bend the knees a little. We are going to turn the right foot in towards center, slow, and then out towards right. Slow as you can. You're moving through the heel, trying to find the muscles that make this movement happen. So you should find some muscles in the inner thigh, some muscles around the hip, muscles of the leg should be engaged. Look for gripping in the back. Look for gripping in the neck, soften the face. Nice and slow, engaged leg. Bring the right foot back to neutral, set up again, engage both legs, and then the left foot turns in towards center, out towards right, spinning on the heel, nice and slow. So we're not wiggling the foot, it's not a dance move. We are engaging the muscles, connecting with the muscles that make the movement happen. Breathe, feel your legs. Bring the left foot back to neutral. Feet still a little bit wider. Engaging like you're trying to pull them out of parts. The whole leg is engaged. And this time we're going to move through the foot muscles. So we're going to releve the heels, lifting one heel at a time, nice and slow. Lower, and then lift the other heel. Nice and slow. If you can just lift your foot a teeny bit and connect with the muscles in the foot, that's as far as you need to move your foot. Really having your own experience rather than having a goal of looking like somebody else's body shape. Having your own experience in the muscles of your feet. And then you can start to engage the core and try to think about keeping your hips solid. So your base solid and the movement entirely in the legs. So keeping your hips still and finding the muscles of the leg and the foot to make the movement happen. Bring both heels down, and we're going to inhale, and then exhale as we bend the knees. Sink the hips down. Again, just using the chair for balance. Inhale as you lift the hips. Exhale as you lower. So this movement can be as large or small as you need. Little tiny bends in the knees. You can squeeze as if you're pulling the feet apart. Using the chair for balance. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, bend the knees, lower. Trying to engage as many muscles as you can possibly find. Imagine you're squeezing your knees together and at the same time pulling them apart. See if you can find more muscles. Breathe. Then bring the hips back up. Using the chair for balance, you're going to step the left foot in closer to about hip width. You're going to step the right foot back. So to find a place where you can land the ball of the right foot. Bend in the knee, and then slowly lower the heel towards the ground. Bend the knee. Heel to ground, bend the knee. So now, we are looking for this left leg to be engaged, left glute to be engaged, right leg to be fully engaged all the way down to the heel through the foot. Hands are just for balance. Imagine you're trying to pull yourself up out of the ground through the left leg. So rather than sinking into the joints and hanging out, we're trying to pull up, be strong in the left leg. Find some muscles, connect to the muscles. And then using the chair for balance, a good bend in the front leg. We're going to lift the back leg. So lift and lengthen using the chair to balance. Hold this leg up. Try to keep both hips facing forward. Longer in the spine, and then lower the toes, and then lift the heel. You can bend into the left knee, make this a little bit of movement in the left leg, or you can keep the left leg static and move only in the right leg. Make some choices. Have your own experience about what you are ready for in your body. And then bring the right knee towards the chest. We're going to lift the right knee out to the right. And then bring it back into center. Inhale, lift it out to the right. Exhale, back to center. So watch for moving from the back. We want to move from the hip. That's why we're using a chair. We're trying to make sure we're using the muscles that we're looking to build strength in right now. Move around in the glutes, in the hip, in the inner thigh. Nice and slow. Building strength. Left leg should still be fired up. Left glutes fired up. And then place the right foot down and take some wiggles of the legs. Loosen, soften, and notice left and right sides. Try to really get your wet legs to loosen like jelly. And then right foot is close to the chair, left foot goes back. Land the ball of the foot and slowly press through the heel. Good bend in the right leg. There can be a bend in the left leg. Trying to find the muscles at the back of the left leg. Find the muscles at the foot. Breathe and move. And then bring your upper body forward. Again, we're just using the chair for balance, not really sinking in and pressing too hard in the chair. Use it for balance. Pull up out of the right leg, lift and hover the left. So lift it from the heel, long, strong leg. Core is engaged, so you're pulling your stomach muscles towards your spine. Watch for tension in the neck, soften the face. We're going to inhale, lift the heel, exhale, lower the toes to the ground. Inhale, lift, exhale, lower. This movement can be small, just a little lift, a little lower. This movement can be bigger with a bend in the right knee happening at the same time. So, one movement is not better or worse than the other. It's just using slightly different muscle groups, and going slow is actually much harder because you have to engage the muscles to fight the movement. So building at a smaller movement is more beneficial than just flopping your leg around. Lift and lengthen, bend the knee, bring it towards the chest. So left knee in towards the chest. And we're going to inhale as we bring the left knee out to the left. Exhale as we squeeze it back in. Inhale out. Exhale, squeeze it back in. So trying to move only in the leg, not around and around in the back and hips. Bring the left leg down and take some wiggles with the legs. Soften, loosen, let go. Really try to let the muscles soften, reset. Get that little wiggle going to reset the muscles. And then we're going to bend into the knees. So now we're looking to have the chair just fingertips. We're just looking to have it here for our balance. We're going to try and have that same pulling them out of heart experience with our legs. So legs are fired up, nice and strong. We're going to have our fingertips just touching the chair for balance. And we're going to sweep the right arm back in a big circle. And then sweep the left arm back in a big circle. Right arm, left arm. So watch for this. Watch for moving from the hip. We're just trying to solid, nice, strong, solid base and move through the arm and shoulder and upper back. Bring both hands down. And still engaged in your base. Lock your base. Pull your legs strong. Lock your glutes. Everything nice and tight and strong. We're going to inhale as we draw the right arm back. Exhale as we push it back down to the chair. Inhale, draw the left arm back. Exhale as we push down towards the chair. You can start to really fire up the breath. Make it a little more cleansing and forceful. Or you can take it a little slower. Meet yourself where you're at. Know that day to day, the practice that you're used to, the practice that you prefer might change. Always be open to experimenting and changing and having an internal experience. We are experimenting too. It's Friday. My brain's ready for a break. Bring it back down and let's return to opening the back. So stepping the legs back. This is a chair supported down dog. So sink the hips, bend the knees, find some space in the back. And let go. Maybe rest the head on an arm. Take the tension out of your head. You can keep this static if you found that wonderful place where this feels like a release, or you can sway the hips, bend the knees, take some movement, experiment, feel, land in your own physical body. Bring the feet a little closer to the chair. Inhale as you press through the legs. Bring your arms all the way up over your head. Prayer over your head. Exhale, bring your prayer down to your heart. Nice and slow. Land in your standing pose. If you are not solid on your feet, if you have balance issues, if you have anything that you need the chair for extra support, you're going to bring it in front of you so the back is facing you. You can also have it just to the side to keep it out of the way. We're gonna do a little bit of balance work, a teeny bit of balance work. So landing on your feet, feeling your feet on the ground, having the chair handy. Just start to feel your feet move through your feet, move through the hips. Notice where you are. Maybe you need to adjust your feet. Maybe the common place where you have your feet, you land your feet really close. And this makes you feel wobbly. Or maybe you land your feet really wide. See where your feet feel comfortable so that your low back is also comfortable. Your knees are also comfortable. Your hips are also comfortable. So find that place. Try to bend into the knees, have softness around the knees, have softness around the hips. And holding on to the chair with the left hand. We're going to inhale, lift the right arm up. Exhale, bring it down, arm engaged. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring it back down towards the hip. You can start to make this a little bigger, holding on to the chair, a little lengthening, pushing over to the left. When you start to make this movement a little bigger, thinking about opening the right rib cage, things to watch for. Don't sink into the left side. Lift up and lift over. Also watch for compensation and gripping. Maybe you're starting to push the hips one side. Maybe you're starting to really pull into a leg. So we want to keep this movement into the rib cage. We're focusing in the rib cage. Inhale, lift, lengthen, make more space on the right side. Exhale, back to neutral. Bring it down. Right hand onto the chair. Inhale, lift the left up. Exhale, lower. Arm engaged. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Any shape that is comfortable for your hand. You can make a fist. You can make a claw, you can spread the fingers wide, whatever is comfortable on your own wrist. But trying to have an entirely engaged arm, hand, shoulder, and then start to make the movement a little bit bigger. Lift, lengthen, maybe a little tilt. Making more space on the left side rib cage. Bring it back to neutral. Bend the knees and sink the hips a little. Just a little, not super engaged in the legs. Just gonna work through the back, little. So cat-cows in the back. So we're gonna lift the chest with the inhale, and with the exhale, we're gonna round the back. Lift with the inhale, exhale, round the back. Bring it back to neutral if it's comfortable. Bring your hands to prayer at your heart center. Maybe even close your eyes and find sensation. Bringing your hands, pressing them into your chest just a little so you can bring your focus entirely here. Drawing right to this very specific point in the body and then starting to check in. Notice what is different from when we began the class. Notice any gripping in the toes. Soften around the legs and the hips, the shoulders. And then we're going to move into heading towards our meditation. So if you are comfortable coming down to the ground, placing your legs on the chair, come on down. Otherwise, we're going to come back to seated on the chair. So take your time to set up. Getting into your resting pose, taking some wiggles if you're on the ground, letting your hips land on the ground, taking the tension out of the hips, out of the feet. Give the feet a wiggle, out of the shoulders. If you're returning to the chair, if you're not comfortable coming down to your back for a resting pose, you're going to sit on the chair towards the edge of the chair. And you're really going to wiggle the legs. So wiggle the legs, tap the feet, loosen it up. Take some wiggles. Work the legs a fair amount, maybe picking up the right, give it a shake. Pick up the left, give it a shake. And then shake the arms. Let the arms go. Imagine you're sprinkling glitter all around you, cleaning up your space. And then land the hands in your lap. Option to bring your blocks back in to your lap. Let your hands land. If you're on the ground, you're going to let the palms of your hands soften towards the ceiling. Let your shoulders land heavy into the ground, or let your shoulders land heavy into the body. If it's comfortable, close your eyes and tune in. Notice what is different. Return to imagining those two little balls of earth in the palms of your hands. And then we're going to bring our ring finger and our thumb to touch. So try to do this not firmly, bringing tension into the hands, but bringing left finger and right and ring finger and thumb to touch on both hands with both hands soft. So just feeling this shape of our hands and noticing how this feels. Find sensation in the thumb and finger. Feel the thumb and finger touching, bringing all of your awareness to this little circle shape that is made in your hand. A sensation of the finger touching the thumb. Notice where the mind goes. Notice perhaps some changes in the breath or the feeling of energy in the body. And this is often called an earth mudra for balance. So maybe connecting to the earth, little balls of earth in your hands. Slowly begin to let go of control of your breath. And whenever the thoughts drag you away from the sensation in your hands, just gently draw your focus back. Try not to listen to that little voice in your head that might say, I'm terrible at meditation, I can't do this. And just gently draw your focus back down to the sensation in your hands. Giving yourself patience, knowing that this is a practice. Knowing that the mind pulls us away, that's the job of the mind. And that the practice is just gently return. Let go of the waves of the thoughts and return to a single point focus. Soften the muscles of the face. Soften the muscles around the shoulders. Soften any gripping in the jaw. Allow the tongue to soften in the mouth. And then if it's comfortable for you to keep this mudra the shape of your hands, go ahead and keep it, or otherwise soften your hands open. Connect with the sensation of letting go, surrendering. And let go of noticing sounds in your environment. Let go of distractions. Let go of the waves of the thoughts and draw your attention deeper and deeper inside. Perhaps becoming so still and so quiet that you can find the sound of your own heartbeat. you have the time to spend the time, take as much time as you need. If you need to finish up at the 60-minute mark, we're coming up on 60 minutes. So if you're in the chair, without opening your eyes, just slowly bring your hands to your legs, rub your legs, maybe move your feet on the ground, starting to land in this space. If you're on the ground, curl up in a ball in a fetal position. Staying connected within to that heart space, but starting to open and bring in the environment, the moment. Notice where you are. Slowly, as if you're reawakening your senses. Bring your hands together, rub them together, and make them nice and warm. And if you're on the ground, slowly make your way to a seated position. Rubbing your hands, make them nice and warm. And think about all that grounding earth energy, landing us on the planet in the present moment, the only moment that we can truly exist in. Yesterday's already gone, tomorrow has not yet come. Maybe rub your hands, feel your hands, bring some of that warmth to your wrists and up your arms. And then we're going to bring that grounding energy over our heart, one hand at a time, over our heart center, not our physical heart, but our metaphysical heart. Imagine the warmth of your hands could soften any tension resting in around our chest and shoulders. Imagine we could bring this present moment grounding energy into our heart center. Allowing our spirit self, our emotional self to feel grounded, connected to the earth. And then from this connection in the earth, imagine we could begin to soften through the crown of the head and connect back out into the world, into our community, into those of the ones that we love, into whatever spiritual connection we have. Feeling grounded as if there are roots going down through the soles of our feet to the earth, tying us down, feeling grounded, feeling secure. And then open and soft and sending out some of this grounding, warming, accepting energy into our community, into the lives of those we love. Maybe even bringing to mind somebody that might be struggling right now and need this sensation. Imagine wrapping them in a sense of security and comfort and warmth and kindness. And you can imagine them before you, accepting this energy. See their body soften, their face soften, see a little joy come to their face, maybe their body shape change, some stress melt away. Or maybe you can just visually imagine wrapping them in a ball of energy containing kindness and warmth and compassion. And finish your practice with your hands of prayer at heart space. Bring your left and right sides to meet in front of our heart as if accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. prayer hands to the center of your forehead and imagine sending out acceptance for others. Acceptance for others being on their own journey, needing to learn their own lessons and make their own mistakes. Acceptance that they too are whole and complete and on their own journey. May we all move forward on our journey with a little more kindness, a little